Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Reporter's Notebook. For those of you who have not watched Reporter's Notebook before, it's where we get a chance to sit down with some of our reporters towards the end of their day, talk about the stories they've covered, and kind of just dive a little bit into the daily life of a reporter here at WNCT. With our Reporter's Notebook edition, we are trying something a little new. We're trying to dive into some new things. So we've been trying to invite producers and editors onto our show as well, so you guys can really get an understanding and an idea of what it's like to work in a newsroom, what kind of jobs there are. There's so many different people that have tons of responsibilities to make everything flow and work together. So today I am joined by one of our producers, Miss Hope Baxter.
Hi,
Hope. Hope is joining us here in the studio. Hope is one of our producers. She's been here longer than I have, so she knows exactly what she's doing. She's great at her job. So Hope, talk to us a little bit about your background, where you came from, what you did in school, and how you ended up here in North Carolina at WNCT.
Yeah, so I graduated from North Carolina Central University, go Eagles, in 2019. When I went into college, my first mass communications class, my professor asked everyone what they wanted to be or what they wanted to do after college. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be a TV host. That's what I want to do. And he was like, I think you'll be a good news producer. And I was like, probably not, but okay. So I just joined a couple of organizations. I was president for the NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists, for 2 years. So I went on a couple short courses and retreats. Did one with Maria Taylor, and Corinne Miller. It's called Game Changers. That's a really good one for any student athletes that want to aspire a career in sports journalism or sports administration. I kind of ventured out and got my foot in the door. And I actually was just telling the guys in the newsroom about this story, how I took a class at Chapel Hill. And I was fond of the reporting. I didn't really care to anchor because my brain just does not keep up with a prompter,
right?
So keep reading. And randomly one day I went to class and he made us read the prompter. And I was like, this is going to be so horrible. I don't really know these kids. They're about to be like, this girl is what are you doing? And it literally was a hot mess. I was stumbling over words. I just could not keep up. And I was at that point, I was yeah, producing is the better route. That's a better route. And I actually met our boss, Bernie Ritter, at it was a student workshop, the RTDNAC student workshop in Charlotte. And I met him and I met our chief photographer, Tree. And I was I'm going to come back to you guys at the end, make sure you remember me. And I came back and I just kept following up with him. And when it was time for a producer spot to open up, he reached out to me and I interviewed for it and I got it. And I'm here, still here. 1 year later, a little over 1 year later.
That's awesome. Well, I know we're happy to have you. You're gorgeous and you're great at your job. So everyone loves having you here. For someone who, doesn't necessarily know a ton about what a producer does or, wants to learn more about behind the scenes work, step back from the reporters and what goes on behind the scenes, the really important stuff that you guys do.
Yeah.
Walk us through kind of, what a typical day looks like for you. What are some of the, activities or responsibilities that you have as a producer, excuse me?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know what we do. A lot of people probably never even heard of a news producer because when you think of news, you think of meteorologists, anchor, reporters. So we are one of the essential people behind the scenes. We put the shows together. We basically, simple terms, we write what you hear the anchor say. Pretty much how the show flows, what sound you hear, what pictures you hear, we pick those out and stack the show together with the animations and everything. And we basically put the show together.
Yeah, they really do. They are the reason that we have a show to begin with. They do everything. You guys have to make sure things are timed out properly. You have to, make sure everyone's scripts is coming in right and everything's, lines up properly. Like you guys are have to nitpick and make sure everything is ready to go and perfect. And I think it's amazing because you guys are just go, go, go all throughout the day.
We are.
Because for reporters, we have, different shifts during the day. So we'll have either you're doing, your story for the night side or for the morning show. But you guys are here and you're doing the noon and the 5 and the 6 and the 10 and the 11. It's crazy, but you guys kill it. You guys do an awesome job. So if there was somebody, one last question I have for you is if there was a kid who was watching, maybe a high schooler, maybe a college student who was, kind of interested in something along the lines of news, maybe interested in producing, what's something that you would say to them? What's some advice that you would give to them if they, wanted to get into this field?
Yeah, so if you were interested in being a news producer per se, or just had no really idea of where you wanted to go in news, I would say if you like to be in control, if you're a person that likes to write and likes to be in control, this is a job that you might want to pursue. If you're a person that is very creative, because I like to say reporters, they focus on mainly one story for the day versus producers. We focus on at least 10 to 15 stories a day. So if you think that you're good at time management, you like to be in control, you like to have that creative freedom of that half hour, look at producing, take internships. And if you intern at a news station and you're not really sure which position you want to pursue in the newsroom, ask them to do all of them. Ask them to help if you can help produce a 5 o'clock show or whatever shows they have throughout the day. It's just to get a really feel on what you would want to do as if you worked in news. So, yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for giving that to the people out there who are interested. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Like she said, they do 10, 15 stories a day. So this girl is busy, and I'm very thankful that she let me pull her away for a little bit to sit down and chat a little bit about herself. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you everybody for joining us for this edition of Reporter's Notebook.